What's up, everybody? I just finished another book in the Bone Chiller series. This is Teacher Creature, number 6 in the series. I remember as a kid, I seen this book in our media center quite a bit, and I never got it. I think I rented it out one time, and I just never read it. I just felt weird because Goosebumps was my thing when I was a kid. Bone Chillers was not. I did know about the Bone Chiller series a little bit. Um, Based on nostalgia, I did see the episode of this, and it's insane. It's really gross too. But yeah, that's where my nostalgia came from. But I will say, the book, I have to say, is a lot better than the episode. It's been a while since I've seen the episode. I do plan on reading it and maybe doing a review on Instagram. I don't do reviews on episodes over here because I don't really have anything to hold up and really talk about. I know people go into the details of who directed stuff and all that. I'm not really into that. But yeah. Yeah, so let's kind of get into the story. The story follows these two kids named Nate and Joey. They are two daredevils. They like to dare each other to do things and scare each other and see who's the bravest and all this. There is a hurricane coming into their town. They live in Florida in the Everglades. They live in Florida. They don't live in the Everglades. But yeah, they live in Florida. This hurricane is coming through town, and one of them dared the other to sneak into the school and hide and ride out the storm. So they end up doing that, and before they get to the school, they end up sneaking out. But before they get to the school, they run into this girl named Molly, who is this like stuck up, preppy, goody two shoes kind of girl. And she tells them, you shouldn't be out here. Hurricanes are dangerous and all this stuff. And she gives all these like speeches about, well, you need to be home and all this. But anyway, she ends up getting stuck too, so she has to stay. I don't remember exactly how, but she does. They go into the school. They sneak in. I think they climb through a window or something. But yeah, the storm starts hitting, and it's written very good for the hurricane stuff because where I'm from, like hurricanes are very scary and they're very terrifying. And I'm from the South, so if you ever seen memes on Facebook about um, us Southerners out there on the front porch watching a storm come by, we are those people. Even though it's really dangerous, we love the storm. At least I do too. I love watching and stuff. When hurricanes are a little bit different though, because it's very scary. Anyway, these kids sneak out during a hurricane, which is scary. My parents would kill me if I did anything like that, or yeah, I couldn't even imagine how they would react if I snuck out during a hurricane. Even as an adult, I think I'd somehow get in trouble. But but yeah, they sneak out and they end up in the school with Molly, and they end up seeing this creature outside eating in the dumpster, and it has blood around its mouth and all this stuff. And they're like, oh my god, there's something out there. They're terrified. So this thing ends up getting into the school, and the kids end up escaping and going home to Joey's house when the storm kind of calms down, and they're like, they can't believe what they saw. Um, the next day, and this is like 60 pages worth of stuff, like with this thing that's out there that they see and during the hurricane and all that. It's written very good. I love the whole thing where they see a monster, but nobody really believes them. Like, what did they even see? They think it's like an alligator. They don't know what it is, and I really like that because it felt like these stories you hear about people seeing like Mothman and Bigfoot and stuff like that. I really love stuff like that when it's kind of more realistic. And this did not feel realistic, I'd say, but it felt more serious, and this book does get very serious. So yeah. The next half of the book, and I watched BD Horror's video on this, and I will agree, this does feel like two stories into one. The first story being the hurricane, second story being the teacher stuff. And the teacher stuff is okay. It does get better, but it does get a little slow, a little sluggish. Um, Basically, this teacher pops up, and his name is Mr. Batrachan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's Batrachian. I when I did my review on it on Instagram, I had to I just put like a bunch of B's on there, and I was like, I don't know what his name was, I couldn't remember. But I look back, every time I'd see his name, and I still spelled it wrong, I'm sure. But yeah, he this guy ends up popping up, and he says that he's like the new teacher because the old teacher, I think his name was like Mr. Vernon or something, he left. And yeah, so he took over, and he's this weird guy. He has really big eyes. He like flicks his tongue a lot, and he has a weird smell. He has like this like uh brown like dress suit that he wears, and he's really weird. And yeah, Joey doesn't really get good vibes from him. He has this thing where he tells these kids that he's going to go to the Everglades, and it's going to be like a school class trip. So they end up going, and when they're on the bus, Joey looks over. I think it's on the bus when he does this. It could be um, earlier, but long story short, he thinks that he sees Mr. Batterchan or whatever shoot his tongue out and grab a fly, but he's not 100% sure. He thinks something is weird about this guy. Um, they end up getting to the Everglades to do their exploring, and he has this thing where he hands every student a piece of paper to find something in the Everglades. And for Joey, it's a strangler tree, I think, something like that, or snake tree or something. It does have something to do later on. But yeah, so they sneak off, and they go looking for this stuff, and weird things start to happen. Joey ends up seeing this Mr. Batterchan eating a dead raccoon in the woods, and he has blood around his mouth, and he comes to the conclusion, hey, this is that thing that we saw that night. I don't know what this thing is, but yeah, it's something. He sees him doing that, and then he kind of sneaks off, and he runs into these alligators, and he gets scared, so he backs up, and this teacher jumps in, and somehow or another Joey ends up going to the other side, but it's presumably assumed that this thing ate an alligator. So yeah, more things are pointing to this thing being weird. They do get saved by it raining, and they get to go home, and Joey calls out of school the next day, and yeah, so this thing they rescheduled the trip, and now Joey has to go back because he wants to save his friends because he finds something in this guy's classroom, and it's this book that says how to eat children or how to prepare children, and yeah, pretty dark stuff. There's scenes of this guy tying up this other kid and having a fire started and all kinds of stuff. This is pretty insane. This was a definitely probably one of the darker Bone Chillers books that I've read so far. I think there's only like one other that I felt was as dark as this, and I don't even think it's as dark as this. Yeah, more on that later. But yeah, God willing. But yeah, So this was a very very dark book. Very fun. There's scenes where this thing is hopping through the woods after these kids with his tongue like flinging out. If I'd read that as a kid, I think I would actually got a little scared. So again, this is probably one of the more scary Bone Chillers books as well as darker. But yeah, Betsy Haynes knew what she was doing with this one. I know there's ghost written ones in the series. I think this one was actually written by her. This is probably the best one that I've read that she's written. I could be wrong about that, but I have to double check. But yeah, Teacher Creature was a very solid book, very fun. It did have some meandering scenes and stuff where it got a little slow, but it was a really good one. Probably in my top something, but yeah, not my favorite, but really fun. Yeah, Teacher Creature. I did think that it was gonna fall apart kind of towards the end, but the ending was like the best part because, like I said, I don't know if I said this already or not, but I've been reading these books for years, and this ending, the solution to everything, really surprised me. I don't remember what the solution is in the episode. I think I do, but I'm not 100% sure. But I do plan on reading that again or watching that again, and maybe doing a review on Instagram to see how that goes. But yeah, Teacher Creature, I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5 stars. Thought it was good. This is a really fun one. do think you guys should try to read this and see what you guys think. That's it for me, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.